Hey, Sam here from rebirthcapitalsolutions.com. And what I'm going to share with you today is something that is very, very powerful for your business. If you understand this one tip that I'm going to share with you, your business can literally change in the next 90 days if you take advantage of the information I'm going to share with you. Now, I always get this question all the time. Sam, is it possible to get lines of credit and credit cards underneath your EIN? The answer is yes. Yes, if it's done correctly. That's the key thing. See, there's a lot of information online right now that's complete BS. Some of them are people who are selling ebooks and stuff on how to establish corporate credit, or what they call it, business credit. And this information is old stuff. It's just reused over and over, and probably worked back in 2009 but no longer works. Or there's some people that say no, it's not possible, and they try to get you business credit, but what this business credit is it's really called PG business credit. And they're doing it through, basically they repair your credit and then they get you access to business credit cards. And these credit cards are great because they don't show up on your personal credit, but then again they still require your social. So, and again, there's nothing actually wrong with that type of business credit. You can take really, really big advantage of that, and do lots and lots of things. I'm a fan of PG business credit as well, but here we're going to talk about straight corporate credit, meaning credit that's built underneath your EIN. And is it possible to get revolving lines of credit? So what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to go on to my computer screen, and I'm just going to share with you the basics on how this works and how you can actually take advantage of this for your business. So let's go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I get started, I want to first apologize about the handwriting. I just purchased a tablet that connects to the computer so I can draw on the digital whiteboard, and I'm still learning how to use it. Also, too, guys, this is just a bird's eye view on how this works. If I were to actually go in depth onto every single step, it would take me about 4 to 6 hours to make sure this is done correctly. So again, what I'm sharing with you in the video, guys, here is just a snippet in how it's possible for you to get lines of credit without using your social, regardless of your personal credit, or maybe you're a brand new business or whatever. So how do you get revolving lines of credit underneath your EIN only? First of all, the first question I always get is, Sam, how long does this usually take? This takes about 90 to 120 days if it's done correctly. Now, we do have a blueprint here at Rebirth Capital Solutions, and we do have a team that actually helps people establish this and goes through this process very, very quickly. But for the sake of this video, it does take about 90 to 120 days. And what's funny is that when people ask me this, they're usually bummed out when they hear this. And I'm pretty confused because, guys, if you have bad credit, or you're a startup, or your business hasn't made more than $6,000 to $12,000 a month consistently for 6 months, you're gonna have a very hard time getting access to money. So very, very hard time. Even if you're in credit repair, sometimes credit repair can take up to 6 months to a year if you have really heavily damaged credit. Even if you have great credit, I still highly recommend you do this simply because you're going to get access to way more money. It looks really, really good. And you're protecting your personal assets as well. So it usually takes about 90 to 120 days. And guys, 90 to 120 days, that's going to pass regardless. So you want to make sure you have access to money in about 90 to 120 days, and not being in the same exact position 6 months from now, still researching, still trying to, start your business. So with that said, the very first step you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that you're either incorporated, LLC, that you create an entity. It doesn't matter what it is, S Corp, C Corp, doesn't matter what it is. Just make sure your business is not a sole proprietor, right? So here I'm going to put entity. The second step is you want to make sure you're in lender compliance, right? So I'm going to put in lender C here. So what lender compliance is basically you want to make sure that you're compliant for the lender. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure all your paperwork is correct, that your business is known, and there's a way you can do that. You got to get listed under 411. You have to have a business phone number and things like that. I do have a checklist on how to be lender compliant on my website. It's a 21 step checklist that makes sure that your business is in lender compliance. This is a very important step before we actually get into getting lines of credit, because if you just start building your corporate credit and you're not in lender compliance, you're going to have a very hard time getting access to money. So with that said, we're going to go into the 4 levels of business credit and how to get access to each of them. So the first level is vendor credit. Right. The second level is store credit. Third level is fleet credit. And the fourth level is cash credit. Okay, so we got vendor credit, store credit, fleet credit, cash credit. Okay, now what most people want is cash credit. These are your lines of credit, credit cards, and stuff that you can pretty much use anywhere. To get here, you have to go through all 3 first. The first 3 first. It's so important. Now, when establishing vendor credit, you want to make sure you have 5 accounts, right? Let me redo that. 5 accounts underneath your vendor credit. Now, these 5 accounts, you want to make sure that when you apply for vendor credit that you do not include your social. They will ask for your social, that you do not include your social. You don't include your social on any of these. That's a mistake that most people make. Once you include your social, you just personal guaranteed it. Now, once you have 5 accounts and you've made about 1 to 2 payments on each of these vendor accounts, you then go to store credit, right? You apply for store credit. These are things like Office Depot, Staples, Home Depot, Lowe's. And again, you do not include your social. I have a lot of people say, oh, hey, look, I got approved for a Home Depot account or a Lowe's account and things like that. And when I take a look at their paperwork, I'm like, hey, man, you just included your social. You just personal guaranteed the whole thing. So you want to make sure that you don't include your social here. Now, with store credit, we do have ways on how to actually turn store credit into cash. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I actually have a video for members only on how to exactly do that if you need access to capital immediately. But once you establish about 5 accounts here and make 5 payments, not 5 payments, a payment for each of these 5 accounts, about 1 to 2 payments, you will now have a total of 10 accounts that is underneath your business name, 10 credit accounts. This will then give you access to fleet credit. Now, what fleet credit is these are gas cards. Now, there are some gas cards out there, some of them, that do have Visa logos. So basically what gas cards are just, gas cards. Shell, QT, Quick Trip, things like that. And again, no social. And you want to get about 4 accounts here, right, to be on the safe side. But once you have a good payment history here and here, you should be eligible for this. Now, with these gas cards, I have a lot of clients of mine who own trucking businesses. This is perfect for your trucking business. Simply because now you're just using, corporate credit for this, and you're not relying on your own personal credit to fill up your gas or anything like that on your truck. Once you have great payment history with fleet credit, like 1 or 2 payments off the 4 accounts, you're now open to cash credit. Cash credit are things like your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, things like that do not require a social, right? This is the one where everyone's looking for. Now, again, there is ways you can get access to cash here, and I'm not going to go to, and I'm not going to share with you guys that now, but once you have a solid 15 accounts, about maybe 14 to 16 accounts that have good payment history, it then gives you access to cash credit regardless of your personal credit. Very important, regardless of your personal credit. This is going to be really important because now you have the ability to do a few things. So let's say you get about 5 to 10K here, right? You can now use this money to rinse and repeat this whole process and get access to more money, or again, to do what you got to do for your business to take your business to the next level. Now we have something here called the accelerator method. I do have a video on the accelerator method. The accelerator method basically shows you how to establish this, but more than one of these. Get access to capital, then take that capital and turn it into invest it into cash flowing assets. These are systems for your business that bring customers to you. That's going to be very important. Very, very important. So again, this is just the basics. In the next video, I'm going to go more in depth on this number 2 right here, because before you start this, you want to make sure this is set up correctly right here. But this is exactly how you get lines of credit underneath your EIN. Again, I know I'm repeating this, but this is just a bird's eye view. Now, what my team does for you is they do this whole thing for you. They help you get an entity. If you already have one, great, it's not a problem. They make sure the entity is in corporate compliance. Then they do all 4 levels for you. And what I mean by for you is they do about 95% of the work. They show you how to get approved for each of these. They make sure this is all done correctly, so eventually you can get cash credit. This is why I say 90 to 120 days, is because 95% of the work is done for you. So if you are interested in that, you can click the link below and you can set up a strategy session. And what the strategy session is we kind of go over how we can implement this plan for your business, get it started, so you then have access to credit. So again, I know I'm repeating this. This was a bird's eye view, but it is so important to get access to capital for your business. Guys, this is what changed my life a few years back. I had really, really bad credit. It was taking forever to repair my credit. I was always reinvesting my hard-earned cash back into the business, which left me pretty much with nothing. And it wasn't until I discovered corporate credit and how to do it correctly and how to leverage that that literally changed everything. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And again, you can just click the link below if you want this done for you. And yeah, we can go ahead and get started. Take care.